Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg. I'm so excited to be here with y'all, and I'm so excited to have my friend, my neighbor, and my Elevate teammate, Jackie Powell, joining me. Hey Jackie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm okay. I'm just going to warn everybody, the kindergarten crud has got to me. So if I start to cough, Jackie will just talk away without me.
We'll find something. We'll figure it out,
Just
people. We'll
talk
figure it
about
out.
all the things, right? So
Right.
we're so excited that you all are here tonight. We can't wait to talk to Jackie about her Elevate session and about these amazing multisensory strategies that she has for reading instruction. I've seen some of these on her social media, and so I can't wait to learn more about this, Jackie, and I can't wait for everyone else to learn about them. So I want to go ahead and let everybody know we are giving away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. All you have to do to enter is hit the share button and get in the comments. The more you share, the more you comment, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. So hit that share button, invite your friends to join us, and let us know, where are you from? How many days of school do you have left? Are your kids as unhinged as mine were today? Listen, you know it's bad when one of them comes up and pats you on the arm and says, "God bless you, buddy," and walks away.
It's tough. That when the kids realize it's a tough life for you, it's like it's time to go home, kids. It's time for me to go home.
You're right. It's time. We need a break. Yep. Well, Jackie, introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about you, so everybody gets to know how fabulous you are.
Well, my name is Jackie Powell. I have been an educator for 27 years. This is my 27th year. A little tidbit about myself: I actually work at the school that my brother, sister, and I all attended as children, and I've been there over 20 years. So I've seen it from a student's perspective, and I've seen it grow through changes as an educator. So it's been quite the blessing to be able to go back and teach where I grew up. But I've taught third grade, second grade. The grade I never wanted to teach was kindergarten, and I taught it the longest for 15 years. And COVID hit, and I was like, it's time for a change. So I'm currently a reading interventionist for grades K through 5 for the last 5 years.
I love that. I love that you are at the school that you attended as a student. I think that is so cool.
It Even when I started there, I worked with teachers who were my teachers as a student. And so getting to become friends with them and looking at them in a completely different way, some of it was eye opening, but some of it was very heartfelt and warming for me to be able to see them on the other side, seeing them as people. Because a lot of times our students see us, you're the teacher and you're here and you'll never be like me. But once I became a teacher myself, it was like, oh, you have problems like I have problems. Like, so, I'm lucky enough that I've taught long enough to be able to become friends with some of my former students. So I love that. And then I even have grandbabies at the school. I like to call them my grand students.
I love that.
So it's
That's so
quite
cool.
fun. It is. I love it.
And I don't, so many people don't get to have that kind of experience because, people grow up and they move and schools close and new schools open and all the things. And like, I just think that's amazing. And like, what a cool connection that you have to the community, not just the school, but to that community.
Oh, definitely. I have my co-teacher. She went to have a procedure done. She went to a doctor's appointment, and she told them what school she worked at. And they said, "Oh, do you know Jackie Powell?" And she was like, "Do I know Jackie Powell?" They were like, "Oh, we grew up together." And so it's funny. Anytime I go somewhere with my nieces and nephew, I always run into somebody I know, and they're like, "God, do you know everybody?" I run into someone every time. So I'm like, no, I don't know everybody, but I know a lot of people.
I love that. How cool is that? That is so cool. Well, listen, we're very excited that you are not only on Team Elevate, but you're also one of our presenters this year, both for Elevate Virtual and
In person.
this is your first in person, right?
It is. It's my first in-person session, so I'm really excited. And it's something when I talk about like my family, I had an aunt that taught for 27 years and retired. And when she retired, that's what she wanted to do, was to be able to present and help teachers. But she passed away shortly after retirement, and she didn't get to do that. So I get to live the dream that she didn't get to have. So that's a blessing too.
Wow, I love that. That is so cool. Well, you're going to be phenomenal. I can't wait for your in-person session, and I can't wait for your virtual session. And your virtual session is all about multisensory strategies for reading instruction. So just give us a little tidbit, a little sneak peek of what that session is about.
Well, what we know now with reading is we can't expect kids to sit and get. Our students need to activate really all the senses, because when you look at the brain, the reading brain, as Holly likes to talk about it, the reading brain, that left hemisphere, there's not one specific area of the brain that controls reading. The brain really, the written language is foreign to our brain. So there are multiple parts of the brain that you have to use when you are reading. And using different senses, different activities that activate all those parts are going to definitely help with the process of reading. So a lot of times when we say multisensory, or people hear multisensory, they're thinking, oh, sand. Oh, it's just tactile. But it's not just tactile. Yes, sand, you can use sand, but that whole total body response, hearing it, doing it, moving, connecting motions with sounds, all of that helps that reading brain. It helps it to stick in the brain. And with our students, a lot of them on devices, a lot of times they're only getting one mode of sensory process. And so we really need to activate those other parts of the brain to be able to help them with their reading.
I love that. And I know your session is going to be jam-packed with
Yes.
all the ways that we can do this in our classroom. And I know we're going to share a few things tonight,
Yes.
but I want to go ahead and let everybody know, we're giving away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. All you have to do to enter tonight's giveaway is hit the share button, invite your friends to join us, and get in the comments. The more you share, the more you comment, the more chances you have to win a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. And if you haven't yet signed up for Elevate Virtual, now's the time. Click the link in the comments and in the description and use the code Jackie. That will save you an extra 25% off. So right now you can register for Elevate Virtual for $80. But if you use the code Jackie and click the links in the comments in the description, you're going to save an extra 25% off. So you'll be able to register for $60. You're going to get 4 amazing keynotes, 30-something sessions, 90 days on-demand virtual access to all brand new content this year, hundreds and hundreds of dollars of downloads for your classroom, $10,000 in giveaways, a certificate of contact for 36 hours. We have an app now, so you'll be able to access the conference anytime, anywhere on your phone or tablet or laptop. We've made it so easy for you to access all of this amazing content. So click the links, use the code Jackie, save yourself 25% off, and get registered now. All right, Jackie, I love your idea of let's get the whole body involved, right? It's not just sand, because you're right. When you hear multisensory, you immediately start to think of tactile.
Yes.
Right. So give us some of your favorites. Like, give us a couple of ideas to get the whole body involved.
Well, I had attended a conference in my district one year, and just listening to one of the presenters talk about connecting hand motions with letter sounds to help them remember those, to be able to pull that. I always like to tell the kids, your brain's like a filing cabinet, and you want to be able to go through that filing cabinet and retrieve that information quickly. And that's going to help us become a fluent reader. So I started using that with my kindergarten students in my classroom, gen ed, and it picked up. I noticed some kids couldn't tell me the letter names, but what they could tell me were the letter sounds, because they would go back to the hand motions and go, when I would show the letter and they would go, good, 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 good. That's the sound it makes. Absolutely. So those hand motions, attaching a motion to those letter sounds, those mnemonic clues, definitely help your students, especially your English language learners, because a lot of them, they may not have the language to remember G says G, but if I do a motion, they could pick up on that. Or for the sound for H, I go, so when they're reading a word, I could see them go, at, and then they can do that. So using those kind of hand motions, and I know you have cards that you've created to go along with those mnemonic clues. The thing is, whatever you use, be consistent. That's the key piece. Be consistent. If your students, for example, are English language learners and they're using one set of clues in their English language class, that if they receive pullout, then ask them what they are using in that classroom and use that in your classroom, because you don't want the confusion. You want it to be streamlined. So if they're using a set of hand motions or key phrases, use those in your classroom as well. Ask them to share. A lot of times they will share those ideas, because it's not just my student. There is a group of people that work together for the good of that one student.
I love that. And you are so right. Like the same thing, like those hand motions, it is like, I still have 2 kids in my class right now who they know every single letter sound, but they still can't tell me all the letter names. And it's because they have those motions to go with it, and it triggers that. And they're like, oh, I know these sounds. And they still use them when they're reading and writing. And it's powerful for them. And I love that.
Well, and we also, when you think about math, you want to give kids strategies that are going to be best for them, so that they can choose which strategy works best for them. I'll teach you 2 or 3 strategies, but what's going to work best for you, you pull that and you use it. So if this is the strategy that works best for you as a student, then I want to encourage you to use that strategy, because we're giving them independence and ownership of their learning when we do that.
I love that.
And that's important when we're building independent readers.
Right, because you want them to be able to use the strategies that work best for them.
Absolutely.
Because everyone is different. Everybody learns different, and we benefit differently from different things. And so we're going to give you the toolbox, but you get to pick the tools that work best
Absolutely.
for you. I love it. I love it. I love it. One of the things that you said that stuck with me was the whole body movement. And one of the things, I'm EL certified. Most of my students are EL. So I always go back to that TPR, that total physical response. And we've been doing a game where the kids are holding these letter blocks that I have, and, they'll spell the word bake. And then I'm like, okay, let's change bake to cake. And the kids will yell, Jacob, go sit down, bye-bye. And then Jacob sits down, and the kid holding the C block gets up to spell cake, and getting them up and moving. And they're moving, they're hearing it, they're seeing it, and they're having fun because they're getting to tell their friends, go sit down, bye-bye. Right?
Yes. Well, and when I think back to kindergarten, and even in my intervention groups, when I work with kindergartners, phoneme segmentation, you can use coins, you can use candies. You have a segmenting mat. Let's pull these down and say the sounds in the word. Or if I am doing syllables, let's jump instead of just clapping, because some kids, some of us are just clapping to whatever beat. But they're like, you're like, say pumpkin. They're like, pumpkin. No, baby, no. Sometimes let's stand up and jumping or hopping, clapping with a friend, pumpkin.
I love that.
Those kinds of things, stick with it, and they ask for those things. Can we do that again? I mean, my students from K through 5, when I work with them, first thing they want to know, are we playing a game today? They think it's a game, but what they don't necessarily see or understand is there's a purpose to the fun activity, what they think is a fun activity. There's a purpose to it, to practice a skill that we've been working on. And that gives me an opportunity to assess them on that. And for them to see, let me make the mistake, because it's easier to make a mistake at that point because it's not as intimidating.
Right. Well, listen, Elevate is all about easy to implement ideas. It's all about those aha moments that you can take back into your classroom tomorrow. So Tracy says she's loving these ideas. Ashley says, I've never tried jumping. I can't wait to try this. Listen, we've been live for 16, 17 minutes, and we already have ideas that we can implement tomorrow in our classroom. I love the clapping with the friends, like for syllables, for segmenting, never have I thought of that. And so I'm taking that back into my classroom. I love that. And that's what Elevate is all about. So imagine if in 17 minutes, you already have some ideas that you can implement tomorrow. Imagine what you'll get when you attend Elevate Virtual. So if you haven't registered, do it now. The links to register are in the comments and the description. If you click those links and use the code Jackie, you'll save 25%, which means you'll get to register for $60 instead of $80. 90 days virtual, on demand, unlimited access from June 1st through August 31st. 36 sessions, all new content. We have an app so you can watch anywhere with our mobile app. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of downloads for your classroom. So not only are we giving you the research and the content and the ideas, we're going to give you some materials to implement in your classroom as well. $10,000 in giveaway. It's a certificate of contact for 36 hours and so much more. So get registered. Use the links in the comments or in the description. Use the code Jackie to save an extra 25%. So one of the things that, as you were talking, one of the things that popped into my mind that I used to do, and this is going to show my age a little bit. So when I first started teaching in second grade, and then my first couple of years in kindergarten, we were actually doing science of reading. It wasn't called that then. It was Reading First was the federal program, but it was it was the science of reading when I look back on it now. And so segmenting was one of the things that we were doing, and my kids were struggling with it. And so I was at Walmart one day and I found Justin Bieber duct tape.
I have One Direction duct tape.
Okay.
I won't use it.
If anybody ever finds Jonas Brothers duct tape, I'm going to need some. Anyway, so my kids, because that was when Justin Bieber was, he was young and new and like everybody loved him. And so I bought the duct tape and I made boxes on the floor outside of our classroom door. And so when the kids would have come in the morning, like I would greet them and then they would have to segment a word using the Justin Bieber duct tape to get in. And they loved it. And it was such an easy way to get in some extra practice while having fun. And you got to involve Justin Bieber.
Well, I will tell you what I did with that. I took a Dollar Tree shower curtain and cut it into a strip, and I put duct tape around the edges and made boxes. So it's not on the floor, but it's the same concept. It was a segmenting mat. And so I could fold it up, roll it up, or bring it out. And I believe that's one of the clips I have in my session is one of my students segmenting a word and he's hopping in the boxes. So if you're like, I can't put tape on my floor, Dollar Tree shower curtain, duct tape, tape off boxes, and then you have an automatic segmenting mat that you can have kids hop through. And I use that with my kindergarten intervention students.
I love it. And it gets them up and moving.
Well, and a lot of our kids don't know how to hop either. So when you think about it, we're hopping. It's kind of like a staggered hop.
Yes.
So then we're also working on feet together, hop, hop, hop. While the one student's hopping, the other students are saying the sounds in the word.
Yeah, I love that.
So everybody is involved.
I love it. I love it. And like people are loving it in the comments, clapping and jumping. Lisa says we do above the line letter jump up and below the line letter squat. Ooh, I like that.
That's a good one
too. All right, Jackie, what other ideas do you have? Anything else great that you can share?
Well, if you have students that are working on vowel sounds, then I have vowel tents. So I have each vowel on a tent and they're color coded. So every student, because I teach in small group, every student at my table has a group of vowels. The A's are pink, the E's are green, the I's are yellow. So I can visually see which one somebody is picking up. So if we're just starting out with vowel discrimination, if I say ah, and I'll make my motion ah, the student is to pick up the letter and say O says ah. They put it back down. If I say eh, they go E says eh. But then I can go from just the vowel sound to rhymes. It. What vowel do you hear in that? I says it. And then stretch that to words. If I say cat, A says ah. Because if somebody does not pick up the pink one, they pick up something else, then I know that student may have trouble discriminating between these sounds. And that's a quick, informal assessment right there that I can jot down some notes and say, we need to work on this in a smaller group.
Yeah. And listen, that is something that my class struggles with every year, is that vowel discrimination. And a big part of that is because so many of my students are EL, and the accent makes it hard to differentiate, especially the E and the I. That is really, really hard for my kids. So I love this idea.
Well, and even when I look at upper grade students, a lot of them struggle with vowel sounds too. But I also tell them, we live in the South, and the way people pronounce it, look at it. So we talk about, yes, people say it that way, but this is how you say it. But because we're in the South, people say it.
Yep.
So we get into lots of interesting conversations, and then you hear lots of different voices and impersonations. But, that goes back to our students don't understand the difference between academic language and social language. And that's working on that. When I'm saying my words, I want to say them correctly so everyone can understand what I'm saying. But when I'm with my family, I may speak in a different tone with a different voice. My vowels may be a little drawn out.
I was going to say, we like to draw things out.
Oh, yes. So, and even like you said with the EL, with your students that are English language learners, I have those as well in intervention. So you'll see them go, oh, that's why it's when we work on that. But I also use whisper phones, not just the ones that you hold, but I like the ones I call the Britney Spears mic that go behind their ear. It goes behind their head on their ear, and that way they can hold something in their hand. They don't have to hold the whisper phone. It's attached there, and they can hear themselves enunciating the sounds.
I like it.
So if you have students that have trouble hearing sounds, that's a great tool to add to your group or to your classroom.
I love it. I want a Britney Spears microphone.
Look, I emailed everybody in the building and said, look, if you have these, I need them. I've given them to parents in meetings because their child struggles to hear themselves when they read. And so I'm like, here, take this home, put it on. And it has made a world of difference for those kids.
I bet. I love that. All right. Now we all need Britney Spears whisper phones. So get on that.
I know. I don't remember where company we got them from, but.
Well, we're going to have to do some investigating.
I will do that.
All right. Listen, y'all, we have a few minutes left with Jackie. So I want to give everybody one more chance to enter tonight's giveaway. We're giving away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. All you have to do to enter tonight's giveaway is hit the share button, invite your friends to join us, and get in the comments. So if you haven't yet done that, do it now. We're going to pick a winner here in a couple of minutes. So hit that share button, get in the comments. Any questions you have for Jackie, any questions about Elevate, we're happy to answer those. And again, if you haven't registered for Elevate Virtual, now's the time to do it. Click the links in the comments and in the description. Use the code Jackie to save an extra 25% off. So instead of the $80, you can register for $60, and you're going to get 90 days on-demand virtual access to all of the sessions. You're going to get hundreds of dollars of downloads for your classroom, $10,000 in giveaways, a certificate of contact, and so much more. So we can't wait for you to join us at Elevate Virtual and in person. Come to
Yes.
Elevate in person, and you can see Jackie do her first in-person session, which we're so excited about. We'll be in Nashville, Austin, and St. Paul. So we would love to have you virtually and in person. Will there be any math sessions at Elevate? Oh, yes. Both in person and virtual, we have math sessions. We basically have sessions for everything. We work really hard, both for virtual and in person, to make sure that we have everything covered. And what we do really is we look at feedback and we look at what teachers are asking for, what teachers are telling us they need, and we work to incorporate that into Elevate each year. And so it's very much based on what teachers are asking for, what teachers say they're needing help with, what they're missing. And so math is always one that people want help with. So we always will have math at Elevate.
Well, and I want to add this, that you may have some teachers that are upper grade teachers that are like, well, this is really geared for pre-K through second, not really for what I'm working on. But you'll have students in your classroom that are missing those foundational pieces. And so that will be helpful to put some tools and strategies into your toolbox to be able to help students at the small group table. It may not be something you would use whole group as an upper grade teacher, but there are definitely strategies that you could use at your small group table for those students who are missing those foundational pieces for reading or math.
Well, listen, I'm glad you brought that up, because you made a great point. This is something that we are talking about a lot at my school. I'm hearing this from so many teachers, is that when you kids are, I won't get on a soapbox, but because of scripted curriculums and pacing guides and all of the things, we have kids who are getting now to third, fourth, fifth grade, and they don't have the foundational pieces. And so without those pieces, they can't do what's expected of them. And so this is your opportunity. If you think, oh, I don't need this, I teach upper grades, or if you have friends who are upper grades teachers, this could be something that is very beneficial for them, right? Because they will have those tools to fill in those missing pieces of the foundation that our kids must have and they're not getting.
Well, and I look at it from my perspective as an interventionist. When we come to a table to discuss, should the student receive intervention or not, we're going to ask, what strategies have you put in place in your classroom? What strategies have you tried with this student to help fill in some of those gaps? And that's where you can bring in these strategies and say, I use whisper phones, I've used total physical response, you can list, and after these strategies that you've learned at Elevate that you've tried with that student, and that way they can say, okay, you have tried some research-based strategies and it's still, the student is still struggling. Now let's look at the next steps for that child. What would that be? Would it be intervention, or are we looking at testing to see if there is a learning disability?
And that's the great thing about Elevate, is that you're going to have notebooks full of these strategies and these ideas that you can implement that are research based. That's one of the things that makes Elevate so unique, is all of our presenters are in classrooms, they're active, they're currently active in schools, and all of the sessions, both virtually and in person, are research based, and it's current research, it is vetted research. And so everything that you're getting at Elevate is research-based. And so that's what makes one of the many things that makes Elevate special. And I saw Crystal make a comment about having some fourth and fifth grade teachers at Elevate. We've had middle school teachers, I think last year, or it might have been the first year, I actually talked to a couple of guys who were there. They were middle school teachers, and they came just because they were excited to like be surrounded by teachers, and they could not believe how much of the content was usable for them as middle school teachers.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
so
amazing.
so yes, we are pre-K through second, like we are early childhood, but we really are for all teachers. And if nothing else, I mean, look, Gary Brooks, like, even if you teach high school, he is going to make you laugh and cry, and he's going to help you when it comes to that culture of your school. Jerry Chang, like, is hilarious. Like, even if you just come for the keynotes, like, you're going to walk away inspired. So it really is for everybody. So I can't wait, Jackie, to see your virtual session, and I really cannot wait to see you in person. I think that is going to be phenomenal.
Oh, I practiced. Look, people, I practiced with people at my school, and I'm like, give me feedback, folks. Be honest. And the feedback was great. So I'm kind of excited about it. So hopefully I don't fall on my face.
Hey, listen, if you do, it happens to all of us, okay?
Right.
All right, listen, everybody, it is time for us to give away a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. So Jesse's going to choose us a winner. If you are the winner of tonight's giveaway, simply send an email to crystal@elevateyourclassroom.com, and Crystal will take care of your ticket for you. All right, congratulations, Tracy Hall. Tracy, you've won a free ticket to Elevate Virtual. Send an email to crystal@elevateyourclassroom.com. Congratulations, Tracy.
Well, and let me say one more thing. If you have a student teacher, this is a great gift for that student teacher to give them strategies to get them started for when they, actually get their own classroom. So that's also something to consider.
I love that. Yep. And teacher appreciation is coming up. So go to your admin and be like, hey, this would be great for teacher appreciation, right? Send us to Elevate. All right. Listen, y'all, thank you so much. If you have not yet registered for Elevate Virtual, do it now. The links to register are in the comments and the description. Click those links and use the code Jackie to save an extra 25% off. So instead of $80, you'll be able to register for $60. That gets you 90 days on-demand virtual access from June 1st to August 31st, 36 sessions, including 4 keynotes, hundreds of dollars of resources for your classroom, $10,000 of giveaways, a certificate of contact for 36 hours. Plus, we have our mobile app, so you can watch all of the content anytime, anywhere, at the beach, by the pool, 3 a.m., in your bathrobe, whatever works for you. That's what's great about Elevate Virtual is you have access to that content whenever you want for those 90 days. It's a perfect gift for graduating students. I love that idea too. Mm-hmm. All right. So listen, get registered. Come join us at Elevate Virtual. And we would love to see you in person as well in Austin, Nashville, and St. Paul. So get registered. Can't wait to see you. Jackie, thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, I will be there tomorrow.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone else, have a great night. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. We see you, we hear you, we appreciate you, and we're so thankful to be part of this profession with you. Thank you for all that you do. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.